Good morning. How are you today? Good, good. Welcome to Introduction to Psychology. So did you have a good spring break? Yeah, I'm so glad you're all coming back here and try to learn again Introduction to Psychology. I have a little announcement. This Thursday, I already put on your syllabus. We don't have a class. Yay! So, but the due date of your reflection paper is this Thursday. So this Thursday. So please do that. Today we will talk about parenting style, and we've been talking about lots of good discussion of those reflection paper, right? So choose one. And how many pages do you need to write? 2, yeah, but it's a double space, and I know some of you have a hard time to write 2 pages long. It's okay. You can choose one topic and write 1 page, and then choose another topic and write 1 more page. I really do consider 2 pages is a good paper for reflecting your thinking about that certain topic, right? So one more time, this Thursday, we are not meeting here, but due day of your reflection paper, okay? Good? Okay. And we've been doing some group activities about developmental psychology. So we kind of stop here talking about teratogens, and if you are pregnant or maybe your spouse is pregnant, what would you like to do? Yeah, we kind of stop there, and then we are coming back here. So when you are pregnant and your spouse is pregnant, we really need to thinking about your fetus. I mean, unborn baby, but baby can hear. Yeah, hearing is really clear and very common after those, toward more like at the end of the pregnancy. Yeah, so there are lots of research is done. So you need to listen to good music. It doesn't need to be classical music, because maybe if you do not like it, maybe it can be stressful when you listen to music. So choose your favorite music and talk to your baby, and maybe read some books to the baby, because they're listening. They are listening to your voice. So we've been talking about all the teratogens. Of course, we should not drink any alcohol, yeah, and no smoking, and maybe be careful about radiation and all other kind of harmful things. So we kind of talk. I kind of checked with you, yeah. And this one, if you drink alcohol beverage during your pregnancy, you may have, your unborn child may have a fetal alcohol syndrome. It's really hard and tough, because baby just kind of born, but maybe the feature of the face, bless you, it's a little different. They have a little far from eye to eye, and kind of flattened nose, and very thin lips. And the most maybe hurtful thing is intellectual disability. So do not drink any alcohol beverages when you are pregnant and your spouse is pregnant. We should encourage not to drink during those pregnancy. Okay, so we are here, reflexes of newborns. We are talking about developmental psychology, which is starting from conception through death. Yeah, we are kind of beginning, so we kind of finish our pregnancy and prenatal development. Yeah, so kind of moving toward more upper and upper. But we are going to watch one short video clip about reflexes of a baby. So when we talk about baby, those are really newborn baby, and they can do certain abilities. Those are reflexes. You don't need to learn, but almost like automatically you learn from the beginning of your life. So we are going to watch it and talk about it. So try to find sucking reflex and grasping reflex, stepping reflex, luring reflex, and motor reflex. What does that mean? Maybe through video clip, you can kind of clarify, okay, the definition. It's a very short, so try to figure it out.
Babies are born with a set of reflexes critical for survival in the outside world. Some of these reflexes are so obvious you might not think to look for them, such as the breathing reflex or the eye blink reflex. Rooting is one of the most critical reflexes. By touching 4-week-old Lily's cheek, she'll turn her head and open her mouth in preparation for nursing. Once the baby is in contact with a breast, a bottle, or even a finger, the sucking reflex takes over. Involuntary at first, the neonate will gradually gain control over sucking during the first year. Placing liquid in the mouth will induce the swallowing reflex.
In the first few weeks of life, it takes all the baby's concentration just to control these various uncoordinated reflexes. At this age, feeding Julia can take over an hour. After about 6 weeks, though, Julia will be a pro. There are other reflexes babies are born with that we don't completely understand. In the first 2 months, babies exhibit the stepping reflex. This is probably a precursor to walking. Watch Lily's toes fan out and curl. This is the Babinski reflex, which occurs when the bottom of a baby's foot is stroked.
You can also do like toes curling and
When pressure is placed on the baby's hand, you can see the grasping reflex at work. Lily's grasp is strong enough to support almost her entire body weight. For a few seconds at least. When startled or dropped, a baby may respond with the Moro reflex. The arms fling outward and inward as if the baby were groping for support. 2-month-old Julia doesn't even need to be awake to demonstrate this reflex.
Okay.
I chose Wix.
Sorry. Okay. Let's go back to. Okay. So you figured it out, those sucking reflex, grasping reflex, stepping, rooting, and motor. So imagine sucking reflex. It's automatically happening usually. It's more like survivor. You need to eat and then live in this world, right? But some of baby, they didn't develop fully those sucking reflex at the beginning of their life. In that sense, it's really hard. They need to use some tube and connect to their stomach and provide the food. So it's naturally happen, usually inborn ability, but some baby does not fully develop at the beginning. So it can be really hard, kind of challenging for them, starting from their life. Okay. So do you still have that paper? Yeah, we've been talking about group project and we assigned a group. And maybe this portion, the next topic is Piaget. Those are Swiss psychologists. So Piaget, the next page, yeah, page 2, maybe I'm going to cover this topic because this is more like a theory and backbone knowledge for the developmental psychology. So Piaget's stage of development. So basically, Piaget was the Swiss psychologist. He had three children. And thinking about it, as a father of three children, he observed how his baby has been developed. Yeah, so starting from when they're just born and when they become like a toddler, yeah, kind of walking, and about like 0 to 2, and maybe 2 to 7, they kind of begin to more early childhood stages, yeah, 2 to 7, and 7 to 11, which is more elementary school, yeah, 7 to 11, and 11 to up, yeah, which is us, yeah, 11 to 17 and us. So Piaget theory has a cognitive development. He really emphasized schema, and there are two things. Every baby, yeah, every human being, we learn through assimilation and accommodation. We have a mental tool to figure it out this word. So I have a good example. What is this? Helicopter, yeah, helicopter. So imagine 2 years older child, she knows only bird. Because bird is kind of flying and you can kind of looking at the sky. Maybe mom kind of, pointed out, oh, sweetie, look at that. That's a bird, right? Yeah. So as a girl, you already knew the concept. You already have a mental tool, mental skill, those schema, there's a bird, right? So when you see like a new object, yeah, this is a helicopter, the baby will say, Mama, bird. because she knows only bird. This is like a new object to her. So assimilation happens, which is making sense of new information by sorting it into existing schemas, existing mental framework. Yeah. So as a baby, you only know bird. So assimilation is happening. Mama, bird. Bird, right? But as a mom, you will correct her. Sweetie, that's not a bird. It's a helicopter. It's a new object. It's a helicopter. So as a baby, maybe confused a little bit, but eventually change her mental schema, mental understanding framework, bird to helicopter. So when you change it, making sense of new information, revising existing schema, and creating new schemas, those are accommodation. So when you finally admit this is as a helicopter, accommodation is happening. So he truly believes all the human beings, including me and you, we learn everything through assimilation and accommodation. So you learn certain concept and try to figure it out with the existing concept, that's assimilation. But eventually you change the mental schema and then learn about new helicopter concept, that's the accommodation. So assimilation and accommodation, that's really basic tool to understand this word. So he put 4 different kind of stages, sensory motor. Everybody, can you touch your desk? Yeah, you can kind of sense kind of hardness and maybe coldness and kind of touching, yeah. And try to hear, and try to taste, and try to see so many things as a newborn baby. Yeah, those are sensory motor stages, 0 to 2 years. 0 to 2 years. Imagine we just watched the short video clip. Those are babies we are talking about, right? So they learn so many things through their sensory and motor skills. So kind of he named it through observing his 3 children, sensory motor stages, 0 to 2. And next stage is pre-operational stages, 2 to 7. Which is more like early childhood period and maybe beginning of the elementary school. Yeah, so he kind of thinking about those are more pre-operational years. Pre-operational years, they begin to have some pretend play, symbolic concept, but still it's not there. They are confused all the time. So we are going to watch one short video clip and talk about conservation concept there. It's really interesting. So pre-operational stages, and next one is concrete operational stages, 7 to 11. So 7 to 11 is more like early, maybe kind of covering elementary school too, but kind of at the end of the elementary school. So concrete means if you see concrete object, now you can pretty much figure it out about this word. So 1 plus 2, that's 1 plus 1, that's 2. It's a concrete. You can see and tangible. So you are pretty good. Those are stages, concrete operational stages, like a 7 to 11. 7 to 11. And formal operational stages, 11 and adulthood. So we are all in formal operational stages because we are older than 11 years old, right? So he believed when you reach the formal operational stages, abstract thinking is happening to us. So I have a question. If A is taller than B and B is taller than C, is C taller than A? Yes? No? You need to think. One more time. If A is taller than B and B is taller than C, is C is taller than A? No? No. Okay, good. So based on his theory, we are in formal operational stages. We have those skill, abstract concept, without even looking at those. Yeah, kind of looking at this is taller than this is taller than this. Yeah, even though no concrete object, we should do better kind of abstract thinking. That's kind of his theories right there. So that's kind of big framework, 4 different stages. Let's go one by one. Here, under the sensory motor stages, do you still remember 0 to 2? 0 to 2. One of the important concepts is underline object permanent skill. So as a young baby, maybe 6 months old child, you do not have object permanent skill. Object permanent, those task. So here, I brought my blanket. Do you see me? No, right? I disappeared, appeared, disappeared, and appeared. So if you do this for 6 months old baby, they do not have an object permanent skill yet. So when you hide yourself, they begin to cry. Where is my mama? She's gone, right? But when you kind of show you again, appeared, they're going to be so happy for those. So they do not have those concepts. An object will be continuously existing even though you do not see. So Dr. Moon is disappearing and appearing. Disappearing and appearing. For little baby, that's really challenging because they do not have those concepts. But obviously, we do have those object permanent skill. Piaget believe it's starting from 8 months. 8 months. So before 8 months, they don't have that skill. So everybody, can you show me your 2 hands? Yeah, very good, very good. Clap 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Can you hide your face as much as possible? Yeah. So when I say 1, 2, 3, can you say peekaboo? Okay, peekaboo. Very good. So that's really good game for the baby because when you hide your whole face like this, they're gonna start to cry because mama is gone. She's disappearing, right? But when you say peekaboo, they're kind of laughing at you and kind of so happy because they didn't have those object permanent skill yet, but they will have after 8 months. So maybe play with those peekaboo with your niece and nephew. They will happy for those. Okay. So next one is pre-operational stages. We are going to watch one video clip. Those are pre-operational, which is 2 to 7. 2 to 7, early childhood. Early childhood. Did you have a good early childhood? Do you remember good memory of early childhood? You play a lot outside, yeah, with your friend, yeah, or maybe some traumatic maybe experience when you are in early childhood, possibly, right? So we are talking about those 2 to 7 years old and talking about conservation. So underline, conservation means a mental operation in which an amount or quantity remains the same regardless of the shape it takes. So we are going to watch one short video clip and maybe you will clarify those definitions. Okay.
So I'm going to make 2 rows of quarters. Okay. Does this row have more quarters? Does this row have more quarters, or are they the same?
The same.
The same? Okay, now watch. Now, does this row have more quarters? Does this row have more quarters, or are they the same?
That one has more quarters.
That one has more quarters?
Yeah.
Why does that one have more quarters?
Because it's stretched out.
Because it's stretched out?
Yes.
Okay, so how many are in this row?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, how many are in this row?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So, are there more in this row, or are they the same?
The same.
The same?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so we have 2 sticks. Is this stick longer? Is this stick longer, or are they the same?
The same.
The same? What about now? Is this stick longer? Is this stick longer, or are they the same?
That stick is longer.
The stick is longer?
Yeah.
Can you tell me why?
Because you moved it over.
So now it's longer.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me. I'm gonna pour blue water into each of these cups, and you're gonna have to tell me when they have the same amount, okay? Okay, tell me when this one is the same.
The same.
The same? Those 2 are the same now?
Yeah.
Okay.
same, huh?
Good. Okay, now watch this. We're gonna take the blue water from this glass. We're gonna pour it into this glass. Now, does this glass have more water? Does this glass have more water, or are they the same?
Has more water.
This one has more water? Can you tell me why?
Because that one's higher than that one.
That one's higher than that one. Right. Can you tell me, does this ball have more Play-Doh? Does this ball have more Play-Doh, or are they the same?
That one has more Play-Doh.
That one has more?
Yeah.
Let's try and make them the same. Make them into two of the same size. What about now?
They're the same.
They're the same now?
Yeah.
Okay, now watch. Now, does this one have more Play-Doh? Does this one have more Play-Doh, or are they the same?
That one has more Play-Doh.
That one has more Play-Doh? Can you tell me why?
You smushed that one.
Because that one's smushed. How about now? Does this one have more Play-Doh? Does this one have more Play-Doh, or are they the same?
The same.
Now they're the same. Why are they the same?
You roll that one back up.
Okay, great.
This is my favorite.
Okay. Did we share the graham crackers fair? Is this fair?
Yes.
Yes? Can you tell me why it's fair?
You have one and I do.
I have one.
You have two and I have one.
Is that fair?
No.
No? How about now?
Now that's fair.
Now that's fair. Why is that fair?
You have two and I have two.
Yeah.
Okay. So there was the conservation, right? So when you are in pre-operational stages, so operation, maybe you see the common, right? So sensory motor, next one is pre-operational, and next one is concrete operational, and the next stage is formal operational, right? So operational means you mentally do, like 1 plus 3, mentally you can calculate, right? What is 2 plus 5? 5, we can kind of easily do, yeah. Those are operational ability. So when you are in age 2 to 7, you are pre-operational. You cannot do those operation, right? And also you cannot pass conservation task yet. So if you kind of change the form, same amount of water, but when you kind of put into like a tall cup, they're kind of focusing on only one dimension, tallness, and then say this is more water, more milk. Yeah, so those are conservation. And when you are in pre-operational stages, you didn't pass the conservation. When you become a next stage, now no problem. You can tell it's the same amount of water, same amount of coins. Okay, you're doing good. So here, concrete operational stages, you kind of developed as a next stage, 7 to 11. Which is more like a second grade to at the end of the elementary school, you're pretty good. Whenever you have some concrete object, like a tangible and touchable, and you can see, you can do so many good things. Yeah, maybe kind of calculating, maybe 1 plus, 2 more here, 2 different objects. You can kind of count 1, 2, 3. Yeah, concrete object, no problem. But you may have a little hard time abstract thinking. If there's no object and thinking only with your operational stages, it can be challenging. So begin to have those logical thinking, but there's not much abstract thinking during those concrete observational operational stages. Okay, so next one is formal operational stages. Underline abstract thinking. Yeah, will more clear when you read the formal operational stages, which is us, including us. So far, I kind of introduced about Piagetian perspective, Swiss psychologist. Did you enjoy his theory? Yeah, he was really good father and also the psychologist and could live a long life. Yeah, that's really awesome, right? And I'm going to introduce the next person. Oh, but before that, those are summary of a Piagetian perspective. We've been talking about sensory motor, pre-operational, concrete operational, and formal operational, bless you, stages. Okay, so next person is Vygotsky, Russian psychologist. Russian psychologist. So many people compare Piaget and Vygotsky and their theory. Why is that? Actually, they are same age. They are born at the same age, same year, but Vygotsky died very early, about 37 years old, because of tuberculosis. Yeah, he was a well-known Russian psychologist. And they're a little different because Piagetian perspective, Piaget believe all the human being, we go through same 4 stages. Sensory motor stages and pre-operational, concrete operational, and formal operational stages. Every human being will follow the same developmental stages. But Vygotsky was different. He really focusing on social cultural theory. When we understand a person, we need to thinking about their personal background, family background, cultural background. So even though you are in age 2, you are born in the United States versus born in maybe Germany and also maybe Korea, it's a totally different because different culture and different environment. So we really need to thinking about that person's social, cultural aspect of learning and development. He didn't have a stage because he died too early. But he has really good 2 concepts. One is a scaffolding and zone of proximal development. So scaffolding means step-by-step guidance. Yeah. So can you remember, can you think about anything? Maybe your mom, your dad, maybe your teacher try to teach you certain concept using some step-by-step guidance. Maybe dribbling the basketball and putting into the hoop, yeah? Maybe your basketball coach can help you. First, you need to maybe make some your hands like a round shape and dribble with maybe full your fingers. I'm not sure about like basketball, but we try to kind of bounce, yeah, and then run, and hold the 2 hands, your basketball, and then put it into the goal. So step-by-step guidance, yeah. So those are scaffolding, and when you do those puzzle solving with your maybe uncle or maybe daddy, yeah, kind of looking at the picture, puzzle solving. That's maybe, let's say 500 pieces. Anybody, you're really good at puzzle solving? Yeah, those kind of board kind of puzzle? No? I'm not good at, but I guess, looking at here, maybe it says, maybe you can kind of assume maybe 20 pieces puzzle. At the beginning, as a child, you feel overwhelmed. You don't know where you need to start. But as a maybe daddy and maybe teacher, you can say, oh, sweetie, look at the edge of those, frame of the puzzle, and maybe thinking about those, whole picture. So it should go here and there. You may kind of giving some like a specific guidance at the beginning. But when the puzzle solving is almost done, you don't need to teach not much, right? Yeah. So maybe one other example will be, I bought a sewing machine from Amazon. I'm not good at. A couple of years ago, I was determined I want to make a blanket for my own, like my blanket. But it was not easy. I have 0 amount of knowledge about sewing and sewing machine. So I bought one. So one of my friends, Becky, she's an expert. She even kind of selling her product to the market. So I asked her and she said, yeah, I'm happy to help you. So she came to my house and tried to help me. Those are sewing machine. By the way, anybody you are good at like using some sewing machine? Okay, Truman, you can do that? That's really awesome. So you know how to make a blanket with a sewing machine? Not that good, but still you can make your maybe pants shorten and those things. That's really good, awesome. Maybe I need to learn from you, Truman. So still I have it in my house, but I do not know how to. So she taught me like a bobbin and, kind of using some thread and kind of connecting all things. She taught so many things and she videotaped for me. So it seems like I tried to learn at the beginning. So many information, little kind of overwhelming at the beginning, but she still gave me like a step-by-step guidance. But at the end of the day, she just kind of talked to me. Sarah, remember you should go here and here instead of showing every step. Yeah, so those are scaffolding. It's a process. At the beginning, try to guide you with lots of information, but later on, little by little, kind of reduce your guidance. So those are big concept and scaffolding. Think about maybe your parents and maybe teacher, maybe your sister and brother. Do they use a scaffolding to teach you certain concept? Yeah. So think about it. The next concept is zone of proximal development, ZPD. Can you show me your two hands? Yes, yes. Clap 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And can you make your hands like this? Or maybe this. Either way is fine. Either way is fine. So basically the zone of proximal development is from here to here, from bottom to here is a person who can do this much with that person's ability. But those are zone, those are possible zone, the zone of proximal development with somebody else's help. It can be your mom and dad and teacher and basketball coach, maybe your siblings. You can increase your possibility. Those are zone of proximal development. So ideally, maybe your teacher kind of challenging you a little bit above your ability. Maybe you can increase your zone, kind of go up and up and up. This is you can do by yourself, but this one is you can do something with somebody else's help. Yeah, those are possible zone, the zone of proximal development. So scaffolding is, at the beginning, you try to maybe give a lot of information, little above your ability, but provide more and more and less, and kind of increasing your zone of proximal development. Okay, so he have those two big concepts. And he died too early, so he doesn't have any stage development. It's a good for us too, right? We don't need to learn about all the stages, right? Okay, good. So that was good. Let's talk about attachment. I know we had a group of people, but attachment group. Raise your hand if you are in attachment group. So attachment theory group. Okay, yeah, good, yeah, awesome. And we do have a parenting style group. Parenting style group. Okay, over there. Yeah, they're sitting over there too. And also we have adolescent physical development group. Okay, physical development group. Yeah. So I'm gonna give you a couple of minutes and then be ready to present your portion, and then I will talk all together with you. Okay, so I will give you a couple of minutes. So be ready for the presentation. Okay, here you go. So Danica, is it yours?
Yeah.
Okay, you didn't write your name. No problem. Okay, I realize maybe some of you were not there, like when you're here. So I guess anybody, you didn't receive this paper? Okay, so maybe I can give you. But it's a team, so probably your team leader will have those, but I still want to give you, yeah? Okay. There you go. Okay. So, if you are already presenting, rest of you, let's looking at here. Adolescent, emotional and social development questions. If you already presented your work and nothing to kind of cover, maybe focusing on those questions and try to answer, by yourself with somebody else who is next to you. So I'm going to give you a couple of minutes and then let's talk together, okay? You need a paper mat? This is a great opportunity. You can share your, growing up, your background, and try to share some maybe experience together. That would be good. Yes? You need a paper? There you go. There you go. Okay. Okay, maybe I'm gonna give you one more minute and then we can talk together. Yeah, since I gave you time last week too. So yeah, maybe one more minute and we can wrap it up and talk together. Okay, maybe we can talk together. I will help you. So you just kind of share how much you got from that information. That's enough. Yeah, that's good enough. So let's talk about attachment theory, discussion question, and I'm going to explain about attachment. So can you raise your hand? You are working on attachment as a team, attachment team. Okay, so if you don't mind, could you present your group's work? Yeah.
We presented last week when we were asked about.
Oh, okay, a little bit of information about attachment. Yeah, okay, good. So maybe I can kind of cover the attachment, yeah, and then go to the next topic. So attachment, when you're thinking about attachment, when you are born in this world, ideally, your mom should be there. Maybe your dad, yeah, and maybe your grandma and grandpa. It doesn't need to be a mom, but there should be one person who can fully support you. Yeah. So I know sometimes mom won't want to be like right next to you. So when the baby is born, ideally maybe put your baby on your chest. So let baby hear you, your chest, those heartbeat, and also smell of you, because baby used to hear and used to smell of your what kind of the food eating, and maybe all the kind of things like they can kind of sense and smell. So ideally put on your baby on your chest and then kind of breathe. That would be really ideal. But sometimes maybe mom got some maybe cancer or certain disease, so cannot hold a baby right away. So in that sense, it's okay. There should be daddy or maybe grandma and grandpa and uncle, maybe sister, who can fully devoted and taking care of baby for a while. Those are attachment. Beginning stages, very close relationship between you and caregiver. Do you feel like I think I have a pretty much a strong attachment between me and caregiver? It can be mom, dad, grandma, and grandpa. Yeah, good. So there are lots of studies done when you have a strong and secure attachment when you're age 1. There are correlation study. There are relationship when you become 20 years old. So 20 years old, usually you begin to meet other people, begin to have some romantic relationship, having boyfriend and girlfriend, right? So those attachment style can be influenced, meeting new people and maybe meeting those boyfriend, girlfriend, romantic relationship, influence positively, possibly negatively influence. So there are studies done, but not everybody will go through the stages. So critical period, ideally, when you are born, you should be put on your mom's chest and then hear the mom's heartbeat and smell the mom, right? But if it is kind of losing those moments, do you feel like can you still have a strong attachment between you and your mom? Yeah, hypothetical situation. A baby was born but cannot be held right away by their mom. Do you still feel like maybe they will have those attachment, those bond later on or not? So think about that. I think still they can make it, those bond. Raise your hand. Okay, good. How about it will be really hard because you're losing those moments. Okay, couple of you, yeah. So critical period, kind of psychologists and biologists thinking about those are really important critical period. But for the human being, you can rebuild those moments later on, putting extra effort, but putting lots of extra effort to have those strong attachment and bond later on. So you'd better do at the beginning stages of your life, your child life. Bless you. Okay, so here, what do they do is, those are experimental situation, strange situation. If you're looking at that picture more closely, those are mom, kind of wearing some stripes, those dress. Those are mom, and baby is kind of playing on the mat. There are lots of toys. So since mom is there, even though it's a new, strange situation, baby feel comfortable and feel secure, and then try to explore a little bit. Next stage is researcher. Experimenter is right there. It's a different woman. And depending on the baby, some of the baby, they cry because the mom is gone. It's a totally new situation, right? But if you're securely attached to the baby, you may cry a little bit, but comforted quickly. and they kind of try to adjust the new environment. But depending on those attachment style, you behave differently. And then some of the baby do not care. Like a mom left, do not care. So in that sense, maybe their mom leave all the time. Not much strong attachment building up. And maybe my mom always does it. Maybe she just kind of leave it and go somewhere else and work and maybe go somewhere else. So it's not a new, even though it's a new situation. They do not cry when their mom leaves. Yeah, those are more like avoidant attachment. And some of the baby, when their mom is gone and new person is right there, they're so mad, so angry. I've never detached from my mom. Yeah, so they kind of cry all the session. So usually those session was 2 to 3 minutes because they don't want to give any trauma for the baby experiment. So when the mom comes back, and those are experimental, right? And they try to see and observe how baby interact with the mom. So I will show. So depending on how baby behave in the strange situation, John Bowlby and Mary Ainsworth having those 4 different kind of attachment. So secure attachment. Good thing is most of the baby is a secure attachment. 65 babies, secure attachment. So thinking about you and evaluate yourself. Were you having good, strong attachment when you are young as a baby? Yeah, your mom or maybe your dad, your grandma and grandpa. It doesn't need to be your mom, but there should be one person solely support you and trust you and love you. So that person should be your attachment partner. So here, secure attachment. Even though it's a new situation, you can play and you may cry a little bit, but when moms come back, you're so happy. Where were you, mom? And so happy attitude. Insecure, avoidant attachment, they don't care. Honestly, I mean, those are like attitude. I don't care. Mom always does. You just kind of went again. I don't care. More like that kind of avoidant situation. They used to do that. It's not their first time. The third one is insecure, resistant attachment. Maybe it can be their first time. They're so angry and mad and you cannot comfort it because you're kind of very furious and very fearful that moment. But when moms come back, even try to hit the mom. Mom, how did you do that to me? I was scared. So those are more like insecure, resistant attachment. And last one is disorganized attachment. It's really hard to put into category. So those are the concept of attachment theory. It's really interesting. But usually around 8 months, do you still remember around 8 months old baby, they begin to have object permanent skill. Yeah, object permanent skill. When you become 8 months, they develop also stranger anxiety too. Because they know if it is their mom or not clearly. So 8 months toward more like 2 years old, they have those stranger anxiety. Okay. So there was all the explanation. And one of the thing is, if you're looking at here, those are monkey, right? Monkey. And monkey, when the monkey was born, tried to put into 2 different situations. I mean, Harry Hallow, he did so many research with monkey and tried to understand attachment. Imagine you are a scholar, you are a researcher, you are an investigator about knowing about attachment. Do you feel like attachment is really interesting topic? Raise your hand. Attachment? Yeah. So you really want to know about attachment more, and using monkey, he did lots of experiment. Yeah. If you're looking at here, there are 2 different kind of mom, surrogate mom. The first mom has cloth, very soft cloth mom. And second mom is iron wired mom, but second mom, wired mom does have a milk, food. Yeah, food, right? So Harry Hallow was wondering, maybe mom using, having some breast milk or maybe formula, mom usually provide food. Maybe that's why we are so attached to the mom. Maybe we feel like we kind of think about in that way. Harry Hallow kind of suggests in a different way, those contact, like a softness, contact comfort can be the matter building up strong attachment. Because kind of in looking at those monkey, spend all day long holding the soft cloth mouth. Whenever the monkey was hungry, just having the milk quickly over there, yeah, and then spend the whole day holding the soft cloth mouth. So we assume maybe mom and baby have a very strong attachment because of food, milk, but he thinks differently. Maybe it's not the matter. Maybe they're just soft, those touching. And so when the baby is born, we usually hug the baby and caress baby, right? Those are really important. Skin to skin. Those those that can be really touching is really important. Contact, comfort, soft touching can be really important for their brain development and social and emotional development. So that was really interesting experiment. Let's talk about parenting style. Did we talk about parenting style or not yet?
Not yet.
Not yet, yeah. So it's good. So parenting style, could you teach us? Yeah?
The four main parenting styles identified by Deanna Burns is authoritarian, authoritative, permissive, and absent.
Uh-huh.
They differ in how strict or oppressive they can be over a child, to how forgiving they can be, or to not even being there.
Uh-huh.
I don't really view any parenting style as better than the other because there's more of a Goldilocks zone depending on nurture and nature of the child itself.
Okay.
However, incorrect parenting of a child can lead to child developing mental disorders or acting out to either gain attention or care.
Okay.
Since authoritarian parents tend to be more strict, their kids end up being a little more reserved and obedient to the rules and stuff. Authoritative, a bit more laid back, rules. And permissive parenting can, like letting your kid pretty much do whatever they want can, lead to them being a little spoiled if it gets to a certain extreme in that level of parenting. And parenting styles definitely have an impact on success because parents that are more strict, usually, not all the time, usually lead to their kids focusing more on school because that's what they want their kids to do.
Uh-huh.
And neglectful ones or permissive ones that don't really care either way, usually don't end up focusing that much on it.
Yes, very good, very good.
So, as far as like parenting styles changing over generations, I think that other factors, so many factors contribute to it that it's like, yes, you could say they're more permissive, but you could also say they're more authoritarian or more authoritative. Gosh, okay. But I don't think that by generation it's changed very much. But on a socio-economic level, I think that if you were in poverty, you have a higher chance of being unable to attend to your kids or being permissive, or you have to have your kids work for you, which could be the other side of the coin. Whereas like you can kind of choose what you want to do when you have some money.
Yeah.
How does technology and social media affect parenting approaches?
That's a really interesting question, right?
Yeah, I think that parents have more of control over their kids a little bit because they can track them on their phones and they can always reach out to them right then, which is something we couldn't do before. And I think it's also caused like a lot less interaction between parents and children because their kid's upset about something, you just give them an iPad or whatever and they would go away. But a lot less interaction for sure.
Does the parenting styles need to adapt to different children within the same family? I think so. I think if a kid's acting up and then another kid's being a good kid, then you should be more strict to the kid that's not listening. And that'll probably make them want to be more like the kid that listens.
Okay, very good.
Can parenting styles change over time? What factors might cause a parent to shift their approach? If they're more lenient towards the kid and their grades start to fall, that could make them be more strict. If you were to parent, which parenting style do you think you would choose? I think I would choose authoritative.
Authoritative. Okay. Good. Okay, good job. Awesome. Yes, good job. So, you feel like a parenting style can be good topic to develop reflection paper? Yeah, because we receive those different kind of parenting style, and you can tell. Maybe my parents, maybe honestly, my parent is more like authoritarian parenting style, and Sarah, you need to do this and this and this. I know the best way to reach your goal. Yeah, so I have a curfew 10 p.m. Yeah, I should come back home by 10 p.m. no matter what. If I do not follow those curfew, maybe next time I cannot play with my friends. Yeah, so that was really hard, but I know they love me so much, but they kind of set up the aim very high and kind of keep pushing me to reach those goals. Right? Yeah. Those are more authoritarian parenting style. And permissive is more like, oh, you're my precious child. You can do whatever you want. Everything is yours. Yeah, I will support you. Yeah, those are more like a permissive parenting style. Authoritative is ideal, kind of between authoritarian and permissive. So there's a guideline and rule, but still negotiable. And they kind of talk together and then maybe reach the same goal together. Yeah, those are more authoritative. So next one, this is like a reflection paper topic. If you want to choose this and write 2-page long, you have a good, I'm gonna give you good grade. So here, Danica Johnson, if you don't mind, could you read?
Think back to your own upbringing. Which type of parenting style did you experience from your parents or guardians? How do you think being parented in this way influenced your development?
Okay, very good. So honestly, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 of you, you've been kind of presenting about parenting style. You just kind of type the same content and then submit. That's the maybe reflection paper. Okay, good, yeah. So let's talk a little bit since everybody was talking parenting style. I'm gonna give you a couple of minutes and maybe talk about that topic since we learned from them too, right? Yeah, talk together who is next to you. Okay, yeah. I will show, this is like a style. Okay, maybe we can talk together. Anybody, you feel like my parents were more like authoritarian parenting style, using authoritarian, just like my parents. Okay, good. How about more authoritative parenting style? Okay, very good, very good. How about permissive parenting style? Pretty much I'm kind of pre-sold, so I can choose, whatever I want to do, not one person. So thinking about that, parenting style, when you are a child, which is like elementary school, versus when you become high school. So your parents used to be more authoritarian when you are in elementary school, but when you become junior high and high school, maybe they are using more authoritative or permissive parenting style. So it has been changed. Anybody you feel like that? It has been changed. More like a kind of more open and free when you kind of become older, right? Yeah. And also, some of you may be confused because my mom was authoritative. Yeah, there's a lot of freedom and negotiation, but my dad was authoritarian. So lots of times, sometimes, I don't know, I should maybe listen to my mom or maybe my dad. Kind of confusing. Anybody like a different parenting style? Your mom was more like authoritative. Your dad is more authoritarian. So sometimes you don't know what to do. Yeah, possibly, yes. So this is a really interesting topic you can develop into your paper. Okay, good, yeah. Okay, so next one is temperament. Basically, temperament is we are born with that. We are going to talk about temperament later on, personality development, but there are 3 different kind of temperament when you are born. So thinking about you, there are easy child, difficult child, and slow to warm up child. Easy child is easy to, grow, not particularly maybe picky at all. You eat well, sleep well, and smile a lot. Pretty much positive person, like even starting from very young child. Anybody? Your mom told you, whenever I kind of feed you, you just kind of fell asleep, and no cranky at all, just like you grow so well. Easy child, Truman, yeah, okay. And Ayla, good, yeah, easy child. How about difficult child? You do not eat much and you cry all the time and you do not sleep. I had a really hard time raising you when you are young. Raising like a difficult child. Okay, yeah, Danica Johnson and several of you, yeah. And slow to warm up is eventually you adjust, but it takes longer than anybody else. So maybe kind of cranky and kind of cry, but maybe smile eventually, kind of like a certain food and environment. Yeah, so slow to warm up. So depending on you, those are temperament, almost like a born with that. Kind of inborn, like a born with that, those are temperament. But relating with it later on, you can develop some traits and personality as a backbone and foundational knowledge. So easy child, difficult child, and slow to warm up. But personality can be shifted and changed too, but I guess temperament can be almost like at the beginning stages of your reaction and toward like a self-regulation. Okay. So here, next topic is adolescent. I know we do have enough time today, and this Thursday I'm going to a conference. That's why we are kind of skipping those class. Little Rock, Arkansas. Anybody you went to Little Rock, Arkansas? I've never done, so this is like a first time kind of going to Little Rock, Arkansas. So Joy, if I go to Little Rock, Arkansas, where should I go? Any recommendation? You don't know? Okay, okay. Anybody? You familiar with the Little Rock, Arkansas? Okay, it's good. So we are not meeting, I just emphasize we are not meeting this Thursday, but we have 2 more days. Kind of, next Tuesday and Thursday, and we'll take exam 3. Exam 3 will be April 4th, which is like a Friday. So I'm sure we're going to finish this chapter and then begin to chapter 10 too. So adolescent development, I want to hear from adolescent physical development group. Are you ready? Yeah? Okay, okay. So let's learn from them.
During adolescence, how do these changes impact self-esteem and body image? Well, since we're developing, our body develops at different stages. So obviously growth spurts, so increase of height, body muscle, so you may be a little bit bigger than the rest of the kids. Hair may be a different part, so I personally started growing facial hair a little bit earlier than everybody else. Those kind of change how you look at how you're getting looked at. So some kid may not be at that same stage. He may not be as tall as you, but somebody else in the class grew taller than you did. That changes your self-esteem and your image.
Okay.
How does puberty affect boys and girls differently, both physical and emotional? Well, obviously boys, same thing with girls, the body muscle, how fat is just distributed changes during hair.
Yeah.
But emotionally, this ties in with our genetics. Boys produce more testosterone versus girls, where they, I'm not sure what they produce, but I believe it's estrogen. But our chemical imbalances affect how we are emotionally perceived. So boys will get more angry, more upset easily, versus where girls may have a more focused mind versus the man's mind.
Very good.
Number 3, how do hormonal changes during adolescence influence mood, behavior, and decision making? Piggybacking off of that, the hormonal changes will cause an imbalance in emotional, mental behaviors and cause a sensitivity to stress. Number 4, why are adolescents more prone to risk-taking behaviors? How does brain development, particularly in the prefrontal cortex, influence decision making? I believe the reasoning for this is because the lymphatic, I can't remember.
Limbic system?
Say again?
Limbic system?
Limbic, yes. That develops at a faster rate than the prefrontal cortex, which is in charge of rational decision making and whatnot. Because the lymphatic reward system is more developed, it causes a more prone to risk-taking behaviors. It causes susceptibility to peer pressure and whatnot.
Very good, excellent, yes.
And adolescence. Egocentricism. Adolescence, adolescence finds ourselves more close-minded, and we think a lot more of our thoughts. And since we usually are very close to our thoughts, we usually make decisions that are very different than we just went and decided. And usually that is varied from both experiences, and that's usually how things go.
Okay, good. Yeah, bless you. Okay, good job. Thank you so much. Yes, awesome. They pretty much cover all the aspect of, physical development. And, we can talk about social and emotional development adolescent. I'm really ready to learn from you because you just came from adolescent. Most of you, came from adolescent. So definition of adolescent is really hard. Yeah. What's your own definition of adolescent? Because based on the textbook information, it's kind of between stages. We are not child anymore, but we are not adult anymore. Kind of in the between transitional stages as an adolescent. I know most of you, you are between 18 through 25. Most of you, between the age-wise, 18 through 25. So adolescent kind of begin to, it's really starting point can be varied. Gabe just kind of mentioned us, depending on person, individual. Maybe different, maybe hair growing, maybe facial hair growing earlier than anybody else, or maybe a little late. Yeah, those in a late maturing adolescent versus early maturing adolescent. And physical development can be really embarrassing for somebody else, or maybe very confident for somebody else. So it's really interesting period and topic too. So no definite start or end, but for sure, physical development, maybe in conclusion, body-wise, we are ready to have a baby. Yeah, so woman and also the man, and maybe having those in kind of prepare our body to have a baby. So when we talk about menopause, kind of middle adulthood, not anymore. Kind of menstruation is kind of ceased, so you cannot have a baby anymore, like biologically, if you're kind of thinking about adolescent versus middle adulthood. So at this moment, I'm going to ask you, if you kind of looking back your own adolescent period, what were the biggest challenges and maybe growth experience? Like what was the most challenging? Maybe it can be relating with the conversation between you and your parents, and you may have a hard time to make a friends, and also you do not like kind of body change, so you feel like embarrassing, or maybe why I'm so short, or maybe I'm maybe you can kind of thinking about your body, maybe image, maybe. So anything you feel like that was really challenging to me. But if kind of maybe thinking right now, that's okay, that was not a big deal, but now maybe I kind of regret. Maybe I should study more. Maybe I need to play more. I need to have a more social relationship with my friend. So talk together who is next to you. What is your kind of more regretful thing, or maybe challenges things? So maybe if I kind of go back to adolescent, maybe I want to change this. Maybe I shouldn't do that. Anything you feel like that? So talk together who is next to you. It's your period, like adolescent. So teach me, okay? Okay, maybe we can talk together. By the way, I know most of you turn those how to boost your positive emotion, and some of you already took a picture and then uploaded it, and it's closed. The due date was before the spring break, but still, if you have a paper, and you can give it to me, and then I can kind of update your score. So I want to give the score, so kind of in a final reminds you, okay? And anybody you feel like when I kind of go back to adolescent, I'm not going to change anything. I was good. I feel like that's pretty much confident that period, and I think nothing need to be changed. Couple of you, How about definitely I'm gonna change one thing. Definitely, I'm going to change one thing. Okay, kind of most of you. So this is really interesting topic for me. So maybe I'm going to keep talking, but anybody, would you like to share? I'm going to change this one. Maybe one person. I'm going to give you opportunity. Would you like to say about what would you like to change? Yes, Ayla.
I was just really awkward, and I just remember feeling really awkward and I would probably would have made a lot more friends like in middle school and high school if I would have just been more sure of myself.
And maybe think about yourself, maybe too much, and maybe how other people maybe think about me, and feeling like maybe if I kind of go back to adolescent, probably I can be more confident, maybe confident toward myself and maybe other people too. So you want to kind of change.